In June 2025, during a brief conflict known as the 12-Day War, the United States targeted Iran's nuclear program. American jets dropped bunker buster bombs, highly specialized munitions engineered to penetrate deep through earth and concrete before detonating, directly onto heavily fortified Iranian nuclear sites. Following those strikes, the Iranian economy cratered. By late 2025 and early 2026, severe domestic unrest swept across the country. The regime responded with a brutal internal crackdown, killing approximately 30,000 of its own citizens to maintain control. The United States and Israel monitored this domestic collapse closely. With Iran's internal security fracturing and regional proxy networks like Hamas severely degraded from years of fighting, Allied intelligence determined the regime was highly vulnerable. Tehran was pushing forward with its nuclear ambitions while fighting for its own domestic survival. Seeing a rapidly closing window of opportunity, Washington and Jerusalem finalized plans for a full-scale, preemptive military campaign aimed directly at regime change. The war officially began on February 28, 2026. Operation Epic Fury relied on advanced cyber warfare and massive, low-flying drone swarms to infiltrate Iranian airspace. The immediate tactical objective was to dismantle the country's early warning systems. By blinding Iran's advanced S-300 and S-400 radar networks, the coalition granted their stealth fighter jets completely uncontested air superiority. Operating with total freedom in the skies, Allied forces launched a staggering wave of ordnance. Within the first 12 hours of the conflict, over 900 precision strikes obliterated Iranian military installations and leadership compounds. The bombardment achieved its primary decapitation goal. Among the dozens of top officials killed in the opening salvo was Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The coalition eliminated the head of the Iranian state in a matter of hours, but the rapid collapse of Iran's central leadership instantly ignited a massive, uncontainable regional conflict. Iran's military remnants retaliated immediately. Relying on sheer volume to overwhelm Allied air defenses, Iranian forces began firing an average of 6 massive ballistic missile barrages at Israel every single day. The sheer saturation of the skies severely stretched the Allied interceptor stockpiles. On March 1st, an Iranian missile successfully penetrated the defense shield and struck a public shelter in the city of Beit Shemesh, killing 9 civilians. Simultaneously, Iran executed a highly asymmetrical strategy against the United States. Using cheap kamikaze drones, unmanned aircraft built to loiter and crash directly into a target like a missile, Iranian forces successfully damaged highly advanced multi-million-dollar early warning radars in Jordan, Qatar, and Israel. Tehran also targeted the logistical backbone of the U.S. air campaign. In mid-March, Iranian ballistic missiles struck the tarmac at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. The strike heavily damaged 5 U.S. Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers. These massive aircraft operate as flying gas stations, allowing American stealth jets and bombers to extend their range and remain in the air over Iranian territory for extended periods. Iran knows it cannot win a conventional dogfight against American F-35s. Instead, they are systematically trying to ground the entire U.S.-Israeli campaign by destroying the coalition's radar eyes and its aerial fuel supply. On March 9th, facing catastrophic military losses, the late leader's son, Mojtaba Khamenei, took control and was officially announced as Iran's new supreme leader. 2 days later, under his command, Iran activated its doomsday switch. Tehran entirely shut down international commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy deployed thousands of heavily armed fast attack craft and extensive mine-laying fleets. They immediately began attacking commercial vessels in the waterway, including the Thai-flagged cargo ship Mayuri Nuri. The economic fallout is immediate and severe. Millions of barrels of crude oil and LNG, liquefied natural gas supercooled for ocean transport, are stranded. The sudden supply shock threatens to push global energy prices well past $100 a barrel. Tehran is using mutually assured economic destruction as a shield. By crashing the global energy market, Iran intends to extort neutral powers, particularly China, which relies on Gulf oil, into forcing a total ceasefire. As of March 14th, the U.S. reports striking over 15,000 targets inside Iran, an assault that has functionally defeated the country's ballistic missile production capacity. The coalition has now expanded its focus to Karg Island, Iran's primary oil export terminal. American forces completely obliterated the island's military and air defense facilities, deliberately sparing the oil infrastructure for the moment as a final warning. In response to the Karg Island strikes, Iran escalated its strategy of second-order coercion. To punish the U.S. coalition, Tehran is aggressively expanding the strike zone to drag neighboring Gulf states into the crossfire. Flaming debris from intercepted weapons has struck central Dubai. A lethal drone strike hit previously neutral Oman, killing 2 people. In Iraq, a missile slammed directly into a helipad at the U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad. The conflict has breached all its original borders. The targeted campaign against Iranian leadership has actively transformed the entire Middle East into an interconnected combat zone. The human cost is staggering. At least 1,300 people are confirmed dead in Iran. Concurrently, nearly 700 people have been killed in Lebanon as Israel fights a parallel, intense war against Hezbollah in the north. With global maritime trade severely disrupted, President Donald Trump has called for a global naval armada. He is urging nations like China, France, and the UK to deploy warships to the Gulf to forcefully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Diplomatically, there is a total stalemate. Both Washington and Tehran have flatly rejected any calls for negotiations or a temporary ceasefire. What began in late February as a highly surgical 12-hour decapitation strike is now a grueling war of attrition. As the missiles continue to fly and the vital shipping lanes remain closed, the entire global economy is held captive by a conflict with no end in sight.